Hello, this is Don McCauley. Today I'm in Rockford, Illinois. Behind the scenes is my producer, Valerie. Say hello, Valerie.
Hello, Valerie.
Today I'm going to show you some toys, collectibles, and share stories that go with them. I'm actually on an inflatable couch. About 3 years ago, we just needed something to sit on in this house, and Valerie surprised me and bought this couch, and I instantly thought she paid too much. And I said, please tell me that you did not pay more than $200 for this. And she said,
I did not pay more than $200 for that couch.
this thing has been wonderful. I'll bet you we air it up about once every 9 months. It is unbelievable. You can spin it around, sweep under it. You can see I've got comfy things laid out on it. It has been just the most incredible purchase. But moving right along, one of the first things I want to show you, this is an autographed photo by President Obama and Michelle Obama. I got this in trade from somebody that worked on the campaign, which leads me to the story that a long time ago when Valerie and I were early dating, she had me meet her parents, and her stepfather is Dr. David Shiner. He was Obama's doctor for 16 years before he went to the White House. So as he was going through the campaign, David was getting a lot of attention from the media, and Valerie at some point said that David had asked the family not to make a big deal out of this and keep it on the down low. And I said, too late. I've told everybody in Rockford, everywhere I go, the grocery store, doesn't matter. I'm telling them, guess what? Da 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 da.
Oh, yeah.
So it became a lot of fun. When Tiger Woods turned pro, 1996, I went up to Milwaukee, and then I went down to the Quad Cities for a tournament. And I spent Saturday and Sunday just stalking him, following him around. Got an autograph on the ticket badge from his dad. You can see that he was leaving the tournament. Got a shot of Tiger when the tournament was over, up close. On the Saturday, before Tiger was going out to the driving range and things, he was being escorted by the Illinois State Police, and I was getting some really good shots, and the state police were just telling me, get out of the way, and I was really proud of that. I went out to the driving range. He was hitting balls purposely over this fence. I ran out there with a bunch of kids, and I got 2 balls that Tiger had hit. That was kind of cool. These are just a couple other shots that I took. This almost got me in a lot of trouble too, because I had a couple of disposable cameras. Yeah, back in 1996, I just bought like a $10 camera times 2. And when I carried them in there and I was taking pictures, nobody said anything to me, but one of the other patrons was like, you better hide that because they're going to confiscate it or you're going to get kicked out of here. But I got a lot of incredible pictures. I've recently learned that there's some type of authentication that you can do where you can send your pictures in, and if they're printed from the negative and they're dated and everything, they can authenticate that. And there's some outlandish prices out there in the marketplace. I thought about doing that for my Tiger Woods pictures, but I really don't ever want to sell them, and I didn't make copies of all this, so shame on me. In 2001, I had my own Collectibles racing toy show here in Rockford, Illinois. I had it out at the Tabala Shrine Center, and these are a couple of the flyers that I'd pulled up out of my files. At one point, I had a former Chicago Bear, Emery Moorehead, signing autographs. That was a lot of fun. It was interesting. As the years have gone by, I've dipped in and out of the hobby, and I've bought various things. One of the things that I bought most recently on eBay was this Yoda. I remember this from my childhood my brother played with this particular Yoda with the orange snake. So I went out there. I didn't care about the condition. This package is creased up and everything, but it's still in a sealed condition. So this cost me maybe $280, I think. So it was a lot of money, but it's been a lot of fun. I've showed it to my brother, and it's just something I keep, on my shelf. A side story with that is in 1977, I was barely old enough to go to the movie theaters with my brother and family. So we went to the drive-in for Star Wars. I was about 6.5 years old. We had macaroni and cheese. We sat in the back seat. Embarrassed to say that I fell asleep. Do remember some distinct parts of Star Wars. So that's a good memory because I don't think very many people go to the drive-in nowadays. Special shout out to my friend Adam in Minnesota. A few years ago, he sent me some sports cards, and we've kind of got a business relationship. Our two companies sort of work together, and he surprised me with all these cards, Chicago related, some Cubs and some Jordans, Rodman, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope to have Adam in a future talk with Don McCauley so that we could talk about sports cards and things. But this meant a lot to me. I just wanted to say that I've been holding on to these, and that was really nice that he did that. Several years ago, I was looking for a unique gift to give Valerie, and Oyo Sports makes these little mini figurines for different players, and they offered the opportunity to have a player made with your name on the box and the uniform. So even on the back of this is her name, and it's just really, really cute, very unique. And we've got this on display at our house, and just wanted to share that with you. About 4 years ago, the Green Bay Packers sold some more shares in their team, and I consider myself a Bears fan, but by and large, I'm an NFL fan. So I bought one share of the Green Bay Packers. You can hear Valerie in the background. She's not happy. This particular share, I've covered it up. It's got our home address on it in Chicago. And I knew what I was doing when I bought this because I've had so many people make an assumption that I'm just a Bears fan, or I've had Packer fans come up to me in different places, and I will always tell them I am a shareholder for the Green Bay Packers. So I've more than got my money's worth out of this. This has been just a fantastic purchase that I bought for myself, and I do not regret buying this. About 10 years ago, I was telling Valerie about packs and key cards you could get, and we started buying cards, and we went to the super collectible shows, the National in Rosemont, Illinois, and we bought some Topps, I think 75th anniversary, and we opened up all these packs, and we were putting the commons in 5,000 count box, and we were putting the good cards in the sleeves and things, and the screw down holders and things. So a few months went by. It was a Saturday, and she comes downstairs and she says, I was going through all the commons and I think I found something. And she handed me the Sylvester Stallone. This is a Topps buyback, and this one is from Rocky II, and he's autographed it. And what Topps did is they bought these back from the hobby, and then they put this embossed logo on there, so you know it has some level of authenticity to it. And then they went and had Sylvester Stallone sign these, so he did it for all his movies. And I knew instantly, because of memorabilia and my background, that this was probably worth quite a few dollars. So I shockingly told her that I think this is probably a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 thing. We looked it up on eBay. I was pretty accurate. It does have sort of some highs and lows, but This is by far the most valuable card that we had pulled, and I give her all the credit in the world for pulling it back out of the commons, or we never would have found this. It would still be sitting there.
It's my favorite card for keeping it.
Living in Chicago, we live on Waveland Avenue, 6 miles west of Wrigley Field, and we go to more than a few Cubs games. One of the coolest giveaways that we ever got was this little toy bank for Javi Baez, and you can pull him back and you can put your coin in and he'll push it in there. Somehow it works with the base. Anybody that watched Javi Baez knows that he had this unique way of sliding into second and avoiding the tag, and that's why they made this little bank. But really, really like this. I did not get this at the game, bought it off of eBay. When the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, we were fortunate to be able to go to the parade, and we went everywhere, we did everything. But one of the coolest things that we got was when the parade was going on down by Grant Park, this confetti was just everywhere. So I kind of wished I had a backpack that day. I probably would have grabbed about 10, 15 pounds of it, but we grabbed just enough for ourselves, and then I took about this much of it, and we've got friends in Iowa that were not able to go to the parade, and we sent this to them, and that was kind of their way of feeling connected to it. So this was a lot of fun to collect and hang on to. We went to a collectible show out at Rosemont a few months after the World Series, and somebody was selling these World Series rings. These are completely fake, but this thing is heavy. It looks real. I think I bought 5 of these.
Yep.
The guy wanted like 25, 30 bucks a piece. He gave me a discount. I think I might have got these for about $15. And this one's got Ben Zobrist's name on it. It is one of the coolest rings that you could have, and I think to most people's eyes this thing looks real and authentic, and it's not. So I was glad I bought these. Right down the street here from this house in Rockford is the BMO Harris Center, and the minor league hockey team is the Rockford Ice Hogs. When my brother Brian was alive, we all went to the Ice Hogs game on Friday night, and they have some type of a tradition where you can have a cowbell in there and people will just ring these cowbells.
We got that there.
So my brother was a jackass of all jackasses, and he didn't care what anybody thought. Where we sat was an elevated area behind the goalie, and I'm convinced that when the game was over that they went and asked the goalie what he thought of my brother ringing this in his ear all night, because my brother was just going crazy with us for the entire hockey game, and I'm sure that guy wanted to kill my brother Brian. So this is a nice little memento. Wouldn't really call it a toy, but it's something that, you know, I'll have forever. The last toy that I want to show you is this steel chainsaw. Valerie does volunteer work for Team Rubicon. She's learned to use chainsaws. It's been very interesting to go out and help and participate. I know nothing about chainsaws, so since she uses a steel and most of those people use them, she was able to get the steel chainsaw. I think it's super cool. I'm going to try to turn it on here. Valerie, how do I turn this on? I push this little button.
Power button. Yeah.
And then I do...
You pull the... No, stop! You gotta take the cover off. Yes. It has an actual chain on it. Yes. Pull the start cord. Exactly. It even came with an additional chain and a tool to change the chain with.
I do have one more story that I want to share that I skipped over. about 2 miles down the road here is where I grew up. And in 2001, Tiger Woods came to do a youth golf clinic at Ingersoll Golf Course. So he was out there showing little kids how to play golf. It was very unique. Of all the golf courses that I would be shocked that Tiger Woods would go to, it would be this Ingersoll Golf Course, very close to the house that I grew up in the 80s. And that was super cool that he did that. When it was over, he went to the east side of Rockford and he went to a fancy dinner. And the word got out that he didn't sit down to eat with everybody that paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have dinner with him. But he did make it around all the tables and shook hands and probably took a few photos, thanked people for contributing to his clinic. And when he left, just outside of there by maybe a half block away, he stopped at a Dairy Queen. And he went through the drive-thru and he bought a cheeseburger and a strawberry shake. And the people at the Dairy Queen were so mesmerized that he came in there that they took his money and they framed it and they put it on the wall. So thank you for listening. Next time, I promise that we're going to have some women Army men. And I guess that would just be Army women. And I know that they're out there, but we just kind of had these, and these were a lot of fun. So we'll talk to you later.